What's up, fellow gamers? Welcome to Let's Play Seven Nights Flashpoint. Going to be playing on Chrome difficulty and gonna have a good time. If you want to jump forward to the gameplay or team selection, there are timestamps in the description below, but let's go ahead and play a new game, and I'll talk about the different difficulty settings beyond what's going to be happening in Chrome as we get there. So, welcome to our new game. If you want to pause to read the lore, feel free, but I've gone through this screen many a time, and so with the video itself, you know, cut down on the runtime a little bit. Let's do this. So, welcome to character creation. So the first little challenge rejection I have myself is everyone is going to be ex-megacorp. It's going to be the Corpo, I don't know, people strike back. So ex-space station tech is going to be one where you're actually, former megacorp here. I tend to go back and forth every other playthrough. This is going to be a melee-focused playthrough, so though a lot of the good blades are crit heavy, I'm going to definitely max out reaction for move speed, and I'm going to choose to max out strength. I'm not sure if that's actually better than going for crit or not. I'm not really certain, but ultimately we're going to go here and get a bunch of kinetic as pure, and I think that'll be very reasonable overall. As for my background, I'm not going to be multiclassing into hacker, so EDU is off the table. And I did run R&D Mech Pilot in one of the earlier Let's Plays. We're going to go take off-world parents. It's something unique to this. Deepwire didn't get run all that often. Ultimately, I'm not going to bother running these, although the high crit chance one is actually playable on a melee build. Crit is very, very good in melee. It's not that much ballistic damage. You're not actually losing like sort of that much value here, but I'll stack move speed. Seems reasonable enough to me. Obviously, sword and pistol makes sense for a melee-focused character, and then we have several options here. Again, not going into hacking. Basically, it's dermal plating, display link, or synaptic accelerator, and as much as crit chance is good, and I'll eventually slot this in, again, stacking crit is very powerful, we'll start with evasion and initiative. So this gives me a really high initiative, which is kind of nice. Here's the default setup for a Cyberknight, although by the time we actually play this character, it won't matter, and everything will be just fine. Default appearance for now. I might change things around at some other point in time. You might see like episode 2 has different visuals, but that's going to be me. Nadia Yeager, aka Hacksaw, is going to be our Cyberknight. Now, as far as hackers are concerned, there's only one who is ex-Corpo, and that is Remy here, who has worked with Low Z, but is former Rook Tech. So that's going to be our hacker option. I do think she is the most powerful option for early game, so as luck would have it, you get kind of the best option here. As for your sneak, both Soren and Emil are actually ex-Megacorp. Right now, Emil has an extra custom mission that Soren does not. I didn't really think too much about whether I can get a second Vanguard or second Agent EX anywhere else, but we've ran to Soren so many times that Emil is a change of pace here for us, so pretty obvious option here. There is an ex-Megacorp face, and it's going to be Hayes, ex-Rook Tech, so great. Very reasonable overall. I think she, her or Midnight are basically both good options. They're both mechanically stronger than Blur in terms of having sort of better, opening contacts, so easy choice there. And then for the combatants, actually, there are only two options you can go for. So we have been running with Molly really, really commonly. We run her almost every time. To be fair, War Machine is the newest combat class, and so I've been doing it to, get new options, but yeah, she is disgraced Warner Braun, so she's like Megacorp, and then the other option here is going to be Sid. Haven't run Sid in a while, but he at least, left McKellen Heavy Industries, so we just barely, we have, the only other option we would have had was switching our other sneak. Otherwise, we have exactly as many Megacorp characters as possible, so this is going to be our team. A bunch of ex-Corpo, street level runners now, and we'll do what we can. Null Deal, we ran that last time. Of course, Null Deal does end up running in the face of a couple of Megacorps here, but ultimately going to go for Syndicate Debts here. Not much to say. So we're going to start with Chrome difficulty. That said, I'm going to make a couple of customizations. So one, I'm actually going to make things more difficult where I can, but also I am going to allow saving. The primary reason why is not to like reload if a turn goes badly. If I lose, and I'll restart the mission and be like, I lost, how many restarts that I have to take to get through this campaign. But it also allows me to, in case there's like any weird bug or something, right, because it's all recorded, this allows me to massage a couple things that might have been weird. Usually late on in the playthrough, I will also make modifications or like save some things like hype limit breaks to unlock new content, things like that. It'd be pretty rare, but yeah, technically, it's not quite Chrome. Default enemy settings are as such. I will be increasing health over time. I'm basically going to create like a fake power level 11, 12, 13, whatever. Exact details TBD, we're not there yet. It'll be like power level 4-ish by the time that'll actually come into play. That's when enemies cap out at PL10 on Chrome, so figure that out later on, but yeah, this slider will eventually move up over time. I think the rewards are fine as they are, but I also like to make combat a little bit more difficult here, so more likely to be armor shredded, more likely to take wounds if I take damage, and more likely for stress breaks to be worse for me. Prices are already maxed out. So it's Chrome with some manual saves, but also with added difficulty settings in. Again, manual saves are not meant to make the game easier, it's just to kind of cover for anything that might happen, and I don't want to restart the series. If I do lose, I own the loss, and then I move forward and keep playing. So that's going to be difficulty, and let's go. Sure you want to go through with this? Yes, we're definitely doing it. Alrighty, so once we are here, which is going to be right about now, is anybody coming? Here's the rest of the team. It's a 3-person group for the first mission. Your time to shine. Make it quick. Stick to plan A. We're coming out through the rooftop. Alrighty, so as this is the first episode of the series, I'm going to basically over-explain the early gameplay as well as early safe house management at the end of the episode. That will become... I'll do that less often as time goes on, but for now, I'm going to be basically playing to over-explain. So, welcome to the game. Welcome to the primary mission layer. It is turn-based. You've got your initiative up in the top left corner. It is re-rolled every single round. It's 2d6 plus whatever your initiative mod is, so, you know, plus or minus 5 from the median, basically. Major things to point out, the primary skill to learn in this game is understanding when to move your initiative around, and so we're all going first. You can see we're at 19, these guys are at 12. If I were to yield, I go to 18 behind these two. You cannot yield back to back, you have to do something else in between those, or you can delay by a flat 10. You have to have more than 10 initiative, or you can't delay because you would just end your turn instead. And so there can be a lot of value in figuring out, okay, exactly what are the enemies going to do, when are they going to do it, and how can I kind of get around that. So anticipation costs 0 action points and debuffs enemies for a couple of turns to let me know where they're going. And so I can see that you're going to stop looking at me, and you're going to walk over there, and, you know, I'm kind of eyeballing it. Of course, I played this mission several times, but you can see there's a bunch of barrels right here. And he's going to stand, you know, over there. Here, I can actually turn the highlight on. He's going to stand there and look this way, and these barrels are going to block it. And if you really want to, you know, bring out the protractor and whatnot, you can figure out how far you can see. But TLDR, you can get past this guy and come around. There's a camera in the way, sure. But we know these guys are going to go in weird directions. Now, a couple thoughts here. One, I can crash kit this camera and turn it off. So now there's another way I can get through, right? Now this spot's really, really safe. And so, you know, you come in here with your Vanguard and, like, straight up, you can know that this guy's going to go the wrong way. And this camera's going to turn off, and you can start moving around and sneaking through stuff. So I'm going to try to be extra sneaky and do a couple other things. I should be able to do it, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to choose to not greed this loot box. This might be incorrect, but I'm going to play it a little bit differently. So I have basically figured out where they're going, and I've turned off the camera, which means now, because I can initiative manipulate, and I actually want this guy to leave, and I want this guy to not look at my Vanguard, let's go ahead and just hit delay a couple of times, right? Delay by 10, delay by 10, delay by 10. And now, what are you doing? Going to your checkpoint. And you can see these barrels block your line of sight. You're going to go turn over there. Cool. So Emil has more tricks up her sleeve, right? We've already used Anticipation. We've already used Crash Kit. So now we have an extra ability, which is Lure. You can see that the number in green means it's been upgraded. So Lure's been upgraded to get extra range. But anyone within 5 meters of the point is going to turn and then walk toward that point. Now, unfortunately, I believe this doesn't... Ooh, does it? I am uncertain if this is going to work the way I want it to. I want to pull this guy into the room. I actually haven't done this like this in a while, so I'm not certain it's going to work this way. But ideally, we pull him into the room, make him go the wrong way, and give ourselves some space. Because of course he's going to spend like, one turn walking over, but then he's going to turn around afterwards. I think ultimately, let's just say screw it. Let's pull you into the room, right? Pull you on this side of the wall. Now, guards can hear, but of course their line of sight is only their line of sight. So I'm going to start with pulling you around there. And now Emil can, and so we know, right? We know that your next turn is going to be running into that wall, right? So turn 1 was doing whatever. I've now turned you. Turn 2, you're going to walk to there. And then turn 3, you're going to walk back. So got to be a little bit careful on the timing. Also noting that your initiative is a 12. I'm going to have Emil wait still. And have the team go run across. So I've got to be careful around, how easy I am to see and how much they can hear. But for now, that's going to be fine. Yes, there's a eyeball icon here. This means that we are crossing this guard's line of sight. However, if you cross their line of sight very, very, very briefly, I realize that the visual here is a little bit bugged, unfortunately. They will not fully register you, and it's going to be okay. And so to kind of prove that out, I can just kind of run to here. You can see that this ear icon is that he can hear gunfire from where I'm standing. But there's a different sound like this, right? I can hear footsteps. So I can run to here, and it's totally fine. So I might be seen, right? But I'm going fast. And so they're warning me that like I'm crossing through the cone. But I know from playing the game that it's going to be fine. And you can see that nothing even registers here. And then again, if I run, they're going to hear me, right? And that's not going to be okay. So what I need to do is actually crouch up. And I can see that, by the way, you're going to go over there, then look down this way. Which means I'm fine to walk up here and I'm not going to get caught, right? You're going to walk away, you're over there. And as long as I'm willing to give up this loot box, we can just bypass these guards entirely. And so we'll talk about War Machine tools later, but for now it's not a big deal. I can simply easily crouch over. Off we go, and no big deal. And now Sid can do the same. Running versus crouching, by the way. Crouching will duck behind line of sight. You can see that there's no eye icon. If I stand, there's an eye icon, right? This right here just barely crosses line of sight, but, it's going to work. The game is really aggressively player favored in terms of snapping to services and saving action points. So right here you can see I can actually go past this dot, but it still only costs me 4 AP. This is going to be the same situation where I barely cross the cone. It won't really matter. And again, we know where you're going. We know where you're going. So we get a very, very nice opening setup here. And the goal, again, was like, hey, where are the guards going? This game is very much about you having perfect information. And so I'm simply moving my characters around because I know what your patrol is. And you're likely to go in a square entirely like this. And so long as I can outrace you, we're fine. You're going to go follow lure. We're going to look really good here. So you're good. And then, okay, welcome to the rest of the map, because I'm confident that during, turn 2, we can start running these guys down. Right, you're going to be over here. I can crouch to here, start running. It'll be fine. And so let's see. We've got a loot box here. We've got a barrier here. Maybe like reinforcements might come in or something. We've got a loot box way over there that I can use Crash Kit to, maybe knock down the laser wire or something. And I've got a loot box way over there. Our exit's right here. So I could choose to like greed out for the boxes first, which I'm pretty tempted to do. So I'm going to run out and greed for boxes. Figure, right, we heard from the opening stuff that there's, a little bit going on here. Maybe got a little bit careful. Reinforcements spawn from diegetic locations. So a door like this, there's a door and some ladders here. So, theoretically someone could come out, and they would functionally spawn here. The game doesn't actually use ladders mechanically, but they use them for, storytelling. So, right, spawn point could be here. Spawn point could be here. Spawn point could be here. Someone could maybe like take down the barrier, come in through here or something, right? So you want to be a little bit cognizant of spawn locations. And so if I run here, right, I'm not going to possibly be ambushed. There's no way. It's not going to be a problem. And so I stand here. It's fine. I can loop through this box, come down here. All good stuff, right? And then these guys, they can meet me around here. We can kind of group up and then, figure out the rest later. But I figure, 1, maybe 2 loot boxes, right? Emilo's like more than trying to have these guys. They have to go all the way around, She's got some time. She's got some space. We can go ahead and kind of greed out for loot. Ultimately, this game's rewards are entirely, part 1 is did you do the mission? Part 2 is sometimes there are side objectives in the mission, and those can pay optional resources as well. And then part 3 is loot from loot boxes. You do not get more for taking kills, unless that was explicitly mentioned in a primary secondary objective. And you don't necessarily get more from being quiet or anything, although there's kind of secondary considerations to being quiet and not getting a bunch of security overhead. We'll talk about security a little bit later. For now, it's fine. Just noting that with my difficulty settings, I get +2 tally every turn. When it fills up, the security AI, the like sort of overarching enemy I'm fighting, is going to take an action at the end of the turn. So for now, Sid is going to wait. Again, you're walking away. You're not going to see me. So I'm happy to let these guys wait, and nothing's going to happen that's going to be bad for me. So off you go. And as predicted, you cannot see me. It's fine. You're going to go investigate the lore. You're going to stand right there. I believe you are yeah, you very quickly do a little hunt, and then I got to be careful because you're going to be coming back right to their next turn. I've got to be careful, right? I got to make sure I'm out of this hallway. Shouldn't be a problem, but just got to keep that in mind. Emil can pretty safely run to this loot box. I believe she can't snap in from here. She can about, it'll be close. There's a chance. So this game has pretty, as I mentioned, has pretty, like, player-favored, like, snapping rules. And so there is a chance that's close enough to the front of the box. I think it's not going to be. Yeah. There was a chance I could open that for 0 AP if I was maybe 1 meter closer. So we get a couple of files. We'll talk about those in the safe house layer, but that is one of the common loot types. And now that you guys are far enough away, right, we can preview a run. Looks like you guys aren't going to hear me if I run. Since Emil's looking pretty safe over there, and there's only one sort of reinforcement spot over that way, I'm tempted to run my team over towards his box. And going to look pretty decent. Another option is to actually, with this guy turning back around, we can open this door and grab this box. And I'm kind of feeling it. I'm kind of feeling like that's going to be the way I want to take this. I'm going to check one thing, which is move speed. So Sid's move speed is 105, and Molly's is 107. And Molly's a bit farther forward, so Molly should go for the one that's farther away. And so that means I'm going to send Sid to this one. That should be okay. Taking this route then back is going to be a little bit faster than going there than back. Minor optimization, but I think it's worth it. So let's go ahead and keep greeting out for loot. Seems fine for now. Right, for now we're just, we're being stealthy, we're making sure we're far away from the guards. Worth noting, Omega had a really good initiative roll, got to be a little bit careful. But you're running over there, so he's not too scary. Again, you're going to run back, and I have to basically bet that I initiative you, or I might be in danger, so I got to be a little bit careful about that one. But if I'm over here, right, line of sight, of course, is very, very real. Also, base guard vision range is only 18 meters, and I'll be, far beyond 18 meters away, so not a big threat here. Off I go. Cool. So a mix of movement previews, make sure that I wasn't waking up any guards, and we're totally fine. Okay. All right, first reinforcement comes in. We've got company up here. But nothing too special going on. This guy's chilling over there. Right, doing his big loop. He's going that way. And I believe at this turn, anticipation has ended. I don't have my tools back available, so I'd rather wait and see what this guy does. His initiative is a 10. Thankfully, if I do a delay down to 2, I'll be totally fine and not caught here. He's very not likely to sprint and find Molly, so that's probably going to be okay as well. Sid is going to want to wait till this guy leaves before he walks in for this loot box. However, I can, just to do it, run up to this door panel first. This one will snap, like, no problem. It'll be close enough for sure. That shouldn't be a big issue. So I can delay down to 2 initiative. This guy's going to go run back to his spot, looking around. Again, Molly's safe over there. No big deal. There's the guard spawn. He's going to that way. Okay. So a bit of information. We know that this side of the map is still pretty safe. That's good to know. All right. Molly can pretty much just go for this loot box then. She's got a pretty much straight path to it. There's no obvious reinforcement points. Nothing too big to worry about. Some more loot. We get an HE grenade, which so looted gear like this can't be used until the next mission. But these are one-use consumables. That's fine. Grenades are okay. Some cash, which will be useful. This is a crafting material, which we won't use for quite a while. Crafting is more of a mid-game thing. You can try to rush it, but it's pretty expensive. It's functionally the most expensive room in your safe house, so you don't tend to go for it early on. Gonna have Emil still solo this box, and then we're gonna have everyone collect back up towards here. We'll have to be cognizant of this guy. It's worth noting, though, that your characters will automatically duck if a guard starts patrolling towards them and there's a barrier in the way. They will duck and break line of sight. So you do not have to preemptively duck to make sure things go well. All right, so I'm going to run to here. Basically, bank down 2 AP. I have Crash Kit available, which will disable a device for this and the full next turn. I believe I will have enough movement to grab this box and get back out, but there's a chance that I got it wrong, and I'm not going to be able to make it out all the way. I guess we'll see, but it's not the end of the world. It only deals 20 damage, which is pretty trivial, but, it's nice to not take damage if you can help it. So we don't know what this is doing anymore. Don't know where he's turning or where he might be going to try to do. But I can walk to this loot box. This is going to be close enough to snap onto the handle, so this should be fine. There's the third loot box. We get an Echo Cutter consumable. That's going to be a consumable version of Crash Kit, basically. Another file. And then I will sort of run up towards the middle of this room. Ideally, he doesn't turn around. There's a chance that he does. And if he does, I'm going to be very sad. I can hope that I roll better on initiative. He's at a 14. I'm not guaranteed to win. I did. Cool. Alrighty. Molly is safe where she's standing, so I'm going to go ahead and not move her yet. I want to bring Sid to safety. And what I really want to do here, actually, is run to a bit of cover. So his patrol, right, he ran from here to here. So he's likely to keep walking down. I mean, he might check this corner, but basically the game works in preset patrol routes. They are hand-built by the devs. I expect something like this, and so if I let him patrol first, I might run past his vision cone, and that'll be really sad. So instead, I can simply run over here, and again, I'm behind some barrels. This will for sure block line of sight. Unless he runs all the way behind me, I'm not getting spotted, so I'm very safe to run here. This guy runs out, he won't see me. This guy runs down, he won't see me. This will be a totally fine place to stand. I'm not worried about it. So far, so good. We've used our Vanguard with her stealth tools to keep the guards unaware, to knock down a camera, to do all that stuff really well. And everyone else has managed to just simply run around to get stuff. So he is running around and hunting. So that is due to Lure. Lure actually broke his normal patrol, like, AI brain. And now he is like, hey, something distracted me. I'm going to walk around randomly around this location and try to see what's going on here. Thankfully, right, we got out before he ran there. Turns out the initiative roll really was going to matter there. That was a pretty big deal. So that's pretty fortunate. Now, as for this loot box, it's going to be a little funky. So I'm going to go ahead and do a bit more here. So Silence is another Vanguard tool. It'll be the fourth and final talent we have learned of this character. I run silently, but I also get 10% move speed. You can see here that I'm not for sure going to make this box on 2 AP. I probably do. But even though I would like silent running, and it would be useful, by engaging it for the move speed instead, yes, I will trigger the pressure plates, and that's kind of too bad. So I will generate tally from this, right? +1 tally tripping the pressure sensor. You can see right there, now it's at 9 out of 12. This allows me to grab some more loot, another 5,000. These are really, really good consumables. These are short-range stunners. They're basically tasers. And yeah, I think that's very, very valuable. So thankfully, we are still not at an escalation. I'm expecting you to keep running forward in a straight line. I need to get myself over toward this helipad. And so, once again, trying to cheat for the game as much as it will let me. Get myself through, and off we go. So, sensor was triggered once. Laser wires stayed down. And we can now start regrouping towards this. Molly can run up as well. And we're probably going to get into combat relatively soon. I will have her stay near Sid. And we're going to find out if we need to fight or not. But I'm going to put you somewhere like this. Try to get the game to see if it'll cheat in my favor and let me preserve 1 AP. That should be fine. Basically, if you preserve 1 AP in front of cover, it will automatically, or you can actively use this. Take cover gives you 10%. This is functionally additive evasion. It is 10% reduced chance to be hit. Also, any leftover AP is preserved as +1 initiative for the future turn. So that can help. You can, in fact, if you hover over end action, you can see, oh, I'm going to roll somewhere between 10 and 20 with this much AP left, right? So it's 2d6 plus 8. Normally it'd be +7, but because I'm saving 1 AP, it's +8. So I may or may not roll better than the guards. We don't know yet. Get a little buff there. That's the SFX and VFX to show that. He is still going around and around. And now we get the first little bit, right? You just heard, or you saw the bark say, Sec AI in my ear. So he was just told by the security AI, hey, somebody triggered a pressure sensor, right? So for the first time, the guards actually know something is afoot. And so at the end of the turn, the Sec AI, right, you can see this thing right here, right, pressure anomaly detected, right? This is the Sec AI, saw something, heard something, felt something. And at the end of the turn, it will generally give out 1 order per infraction. It seems to be pretty much random, but it says, hey, you, go run right here. And he's like, his pathing in his brain is to walk to this exact location, right where it was tripped, and be like, hey, what's over there? Now, the funny thing is, right, we have the people who are hiding behind barrels, right? Did that on purpose, right? Make sure we're in a safe spot where we're waiting for stuff. Of course, he's in a very conspicuous spot where he's going to be kind of hard to get to. But, you know, and also, unfortunately, you have an initiative of 10, which means I can delay my entire team past you. It's going to be fine. So, Emil is going to wait. You're over there, and you have not been told by the Sec AI anything. You have not seen or heard anything be wrong. You are simply on your patrol route, and he will do that forever until something tells him directly that things aren't okay anymore. This could be hearing gunfire. This could be someone else who's in combat being nearby and basically asking him to come join. This could be me engaging him in combat, whatever, but we're chilling for now. So, as I mentioned, initiative manipulation stuff, delaying and yielding your action is a really big deal. I want to let this guy walk forward, because that way he has used up his turn, and that allows me to make smarter choices. So I'm going to delay, and now the third and final guard can walk forward. And now I get as much info as possible, right? Right, so he just shared status. So the next thing to talk about is that guards share status when they are nearby. So unlike many games you may have played where once one guard turns alert, the entire compound immediately becomes alert, the sort of canon of this game is that they're person-to-person comms basically are scrambled via the Cyberknight, but they can talk, IRL to each other. Otherwise, though, they are reliant on the security AI telling them what to happen. So because he walked nearby and because they are within line of sight and physical earshot of each other, he said, hey, I'm suspicious. You should be suspicious too. This will not directly change the AI behavior yet, especially because my entire team is still hidden. But now he's going to be a little bit more quick to respond to things. It does a couple small things under the hood. The bigger one is if this guy's in a combat state, he'll wake people up into a combat state as well. All right, so now I want to maximize what I can do here. So again, this guy totally has a real vision cone I've got to be a little bit careful of. What I want to try to do, I'm not sure it's going to work, and so I'm tempted to not go full power on this. But for now, I can walk over to here and not get seen. Right? There's no preview telling me I'm going to be in danger. We are close to getting a security escalation. So what I might try to do is lure these guys backwards. Right? If I lure them backwards, I can get up onto this platform, and theoretically, it'll just need like one turn to get up there. These guys maybe make it on that turn. But ultimately, no, the play is we're going to go for combat here. We're going to go ahead and show the breadth of experiences, and we're going to go try to go for combat. So initiative rolls are a little bit tight. It's going to be a little bit hard to do everything that I want here. But I'm going to walk you now by crouching. You're going to stay undercover. Now you're here. Pistols can shoot with 1 AP if it's the last AP remaining. But what I want to do actually is have her go late. And what I could have maybe done is like lure to turn them around, but it is what it is. I want to start combat here. So Molly has an urban assault rifle. This is the weapon right here. You can shoot full auto. It shoots 6 bullets at 100 damage each. Maximum range 22 meters, optimal range 16 meters. So if they're beyond 16 meters, you start losing some accuracy. I have combat drugs. I can heal. I can give myself initiative and move points and stuff. But I'm going to open up on you guys with my urban assault. Now, in the bottom left corner, you can start seeing the details of your weapon. I have 2 people that I currently have line of sight on. Shockingly, it's these 2. And 2 people are in earshot of the attack itself. This guy is far enough away at 38 meters that my gun's not loud enough, right? My gun is only loud at 35 meters. As luck would have it, I did not plan for this. I have not played the mission exactly this way before. There's enough emergent systems where they all kind of play a little bit differently. But I have a really good set of attacks here. 90% accuracy per bullet. 6 bullets. You actually can only hit 1 person with 3 bullets, no matter how many you have. It's a balancing mechanic. So 90% to hit. So I'm expecting, 2.7 bullets per person. And you can see here's the damage preview. Damage is lightly random. You do between 3/4 and 100% of the listed damage of the bullet. And so you can see, if I hit all 3, I'm doing at least as much, or, at most that much. More details to the combat. I'm going to be generating 29% recoil here. So my accuracy is going to be 90 for this one. For the next shot, if every other mechanic were to be unchanged, my accuracy would go down to 61%. Obviously, fewer bullets going to land per shot at that point. You can see more details up here. So one mechanic I absolutely love in this game is you are guaranteed to get a glancing hit if either your attack is in very close range, 5 meters or less, or 6 meters or less, I think, or if your accuracy is over a threshold. For most guns, it is 80%. For a few, it is 60%. So, right, the base accuracy here is 65. Because they are a surprise target, in this case, because I am hidden, they are surprised. Even if they were in a combat state, if I'm hidden, I'm still surprising them. Of course, if they're fully unaware, such as this guy, I could be in a combat state and he'd be hidden because, again, he's unaware. Basically, surprise is inclusive, right? If either of the things you need are true, right, they are unaware, or I am hidden, basically those hard pass the suspicious target check, and suspicious target gives me 25% additive accuracy. All accuracy in this game is additive. All evasion and reductions are also additive. There's no complex math, it's just plus or minus. So 65 plus 25 is 90, and because it's over 80%, I get a guaranteed glancing hit. Glancing hits are guaranteed to do at least 30% damage. The math is actually complicated. It's based on your underlying accuracy and all that stuff. End of the day, though, this is a pretty good opening. I get to spend 3 action points. I get to shoot full auto. No one else hears anything. Let's go. We got some pretty good hits there. You see my accuracy has now plummeted a lot. Not only did I gain 19 from the recoil, but also they're no longer surprised, so I lost another 25 from that. Now, if the bullets were to land, they would still be killed, but of course that is not a guarantee by any means. Now, of course, the question is, do I want to keep shooting full auto, or do I do something else instead? As I am a war machine, I have other tools I could possibly use. For example, if I wanted to, I could run up to here. That would put me in range of Crimson Vector, which is a melee dash attack, basically, that only costs 1 action point. That would allow me to use my claws again for another action point and get some pretty good reliable damage. Considering my full auto is only 46 to hit, I'm getting 3 bullets per person, so I'm still expecting about 1.4 hits per character. That's pretty good. I think that's probably better than me going for claw stuff. And so even though I'm a war machine, a cyber weapons and claws specialist, I think the assault rifle is the way to go. And if I get lucky, they're both dead. Nope, got 1 bullet each, which killed one of the 2. I guess we got 2 hits, but whatever. We got about the damage we expected. So Molly's out of action point, so there's nothing else I can do. If I had anything with 0 AP, I could go for it. You actually can get 0 AP actions on a war machine, but don't have them right now, so you're done. Now, the funny thing is, right, I mentioned, this game is, I think, really good about its stealth tools. Sid, despite being on my team, has not broken stealth. He is fully stealthy here, right? Like, yes, she opened, and I mean, probably made him deaf because of the assault rifle right by his head. But notice that Emil and Sid are still hidden because they haven't opened into combat and haven't been seen by these guards. So Sid has a 100% accurate surprise attack here, right? Base 70% for the defensor, base 8% from his background traits, giving him extra accuracy with handguns. And so 100% chance to hit, of course, a glancing hit, which means, and this red skull means that a full hit is guaranteed to deal lethal damage. As long as I get a full hit, not a glancing hit, I'm at 100%. It's always going to happen. And so Sid, down you go. And you notice that if you're watching earlier, I had a bunch of pending security tally because we had 2 guards being like, I'm in combat, there's intruders afoot, warning, warning. But we killed them before the end of the turn, which means they never got to report. All the security AI coordination stuff happens at the end of the turn. And so because we killed the guards the same turn they saw us, Molly is back to hidden because who saw her, right? We keep the secret. No one's alive to tell. And that means we can start running our team up towards the exit. Now, there's another mechanic. These guards have body timers. In the end of 4 turns, their timers will expire. They will trigger events just like the pressure sensor did. But for now, we're okay. So we can start running our people towards the helipad. Emil could run up as well. All right. Turn complete. And again, this guy knows nothing. He didn't see any bodies. He didn't hear any gunfire. He hasn't been told by the Sec AI to do anything. This guy is fully, purely unaware. All right, so let's go ahead and run the team up to the helipad, and all should be well. Yeah, you're on the spot. Great. Molly. We're fine. Onto the helipad. Let's go. Not good. Ultratech military-grade encrypted comms piping in. And so here they come. Plan A was not a success. All right, Plan B. Hacksaw and I heading into the basement. We'll take the cargo truck out. Right, so yeah, the Cyber Knight and our face are not on the rooftop here. It's just getting this team out their own way. So they put up this barrier here. And here's our alternate exit. And so we have a new wave of enemies here that we've got to find a way to dance around. Thankfully, we've already managed to clear out most of the loot boxes. They don't know we're here yet. Of course, there are still these corpses. By putting this gate up, it actually despawns this guard. So one fewer guy to work around. So these are more basic grunts, right? Same guys we've been fighting earlier. Except that I believe, yeah, you're special. You're AT assault, so you're a shotgunner. Which means you can see in the bottom right of their UI, you can see 33% armor, right? So 250 health and 33% armor against ballistic damage. So take it down by a third. This guy has more health, not only by a bit, but also cuts damage by 3/4, which means that health bar is gigantic. Now you notice a little 1 on that shield. That is 1 protection point. Weapons can shred armor and get that number below 74%. That said, we've got guards who might very much want to patrol around and do mean things to me, and that would be bad. So what I want to do is try to get my way over here without running into all these guards. And I would love to be able to bypass you guys. It's going to be a little bit tough, but I'll look to do that as much as I can. Now, I happen to know a lot of what their patrol routes were going to be. Ultimately, I'm going to send Molly to wait. You do have lore. You also have anticipation. And ultimately, where are you headed? You're heading in a straight line forward, but you're going to turn around, right? It tells me that your end of patrol is to turn back that way, which means, you know what? I will let you do that, right? You're going to walk out there and then turn. Cool. Sounds good. Let's see what they have in store for us as we delay and delay. Right? Again, we have this barrier in the way, so we can't see us. Pulls the 180, and we're just fine. You are heading down that way. That's going to be a real concern because we need to get in front of you, essentially. You're just going to go back and forth. And you're, for now, standing there as well, although you might totally start moving. So what are you doing next turn? You are running forward next turn. And so you're going to be, right, your vision cone is going to pretty easily see this way. Your initiative roll is a 13, which isn't super high. Ideally, we have Emil go at the very, very end, and we get a bit of information around how good my team's rolls are. Because I may have to use lure or something to make sure we're safe. So, I think for now, let's run, not get hurt, right? Gotta be careful, right? If I go this way, he hears footsteps. So, we run over there. We don't get hurt. That's a good start. Molly rolls a 14, so she's going before Artho. I'm gonna have Emil yield. We're gonna have Sid run. Unfortunately, Sid's too close, so he's got to duck for part of this. He will have to slink to about here. And then, he's still too loud. Wow, okay. Thunderfoot over here. I could have actually measured the distance. I need to get at least 10 meters away for this to work well. That should be enough, I think. 10 meters is like default footstep noise radius, basically. And then, yeah, you'd be able to see me. I gotta be a little bit careful. If you're behind this box, you're gonna be fine. Although if I cross around this way, again, we can kind of see here, right? Like, look at the vision cone. And you see the vision cone is 18 meters long. So if I go to, like, here, and you're 20 meters away, you can't see me. I'd be a little bit afraid of you. And maybe I should be a little bit more cognizant of that and a little bit more afraid. As I kind of wrestle with the pathfinding slightly. Can I? That's good enough. Okay. So we're going to one piece to here. And then let's see if it'll snap me to the box. Yep, I can snap to the box. There we go. And so the plan is going to be, let's fight this guy, right? He's a regular sort of squishy guard with low armor, low health. That should be fine. Now the scary thing is, we know Molly's going to win on initiative here, and I'm not expecting you to go too far up to be scared, or to be scary, but that's not a guarantee. But I think Emil being here should be fine. Because this guy, right, I'm behind a barricade over there. I've got to be worried about making noise, of course, so let's be smart about that as well. If I'm here, I'm more than 10 meters away. Yes, okay. Crouch to there. Run to there. Again, barricaded the way means I'm going to be fine. Shouldn't be a big issue. Now, one thing I can do is they will have the convo about it next turn. But I'm going to do it now. You come with leverage here. So one of the other mechanics of the game is pre-mission leverage. This one basically lets me erase pending security tally marks. I have 2, where I would overflow. 13 out of 12 means I would get a security escalation. By using blip, I can get rid of that and not get any tally for this turn, which means I will not escalate on this turn. And I think it's valuable to not escalate on this turn, so I'm going to go ahead and pop that. Now we're not going to escalate. Emil's safe where she stands. We can figure stuff out. We can bypass you in time. Everyone should be... Actually, you're in a little bit of danger, but you rolled a 15. We should be okay. Emil could end her turn. And here we're going to get the convo about the trick up her sleeve. We've got leverage. I've already burned that, but, it is what it is. All right, so Emil's safe where she's standing, because this guy is just not going to have direct line of sight, because there's a barricade here. So you're fine. Sid, I should be a little bit cautious about, so I'm going to put you here. This will let me wait for this guy to turn around, and then I should be far enough away. Actually, let me see. So that is, 50 meters away from where Sid is right now, right? His spot is going to stand there. He'll see Sid for sure. So if I put Sid there, he'll be behind this box, then he should be fine. So by doing it crouched, you stay behind the barricade and you're totally okay. Again, Emil's far enough away to not get seen. I've got to move Molly. That should be fine. And we'll hope that you're not too scary. Yep, you're standing around still. That's good news. You turn back over, giving me more space. You rolled a 16. And because you're looking the wrong way, this gives Molly a lot of space to run up. So I'm going to get away from you. I'm just going to push my team forward. And so I'm being a little bit, you know, like, I don't want to say overly aggressive here because I know what I'm doing, but like, I'm basically betting on finding ways to mess with him because I can't guarantee I roll above a 16, right? Until I end my turn, I don't know my roll, and, you know, it's about a coin flip, right? It's a bit worse than a coin flip, actually. Ties go to you, but, yeah. So, end of the day, we're far enough away from him. Emil's safe, Sid is safe. Molly's going to walk up here. And we've got to make sure that we can get the drop on this guy. Molly did not roll well. It's okay. I have tools for this. So you're hiding, you're hidden, and you turn that way. So we can keep bypassing you. You're patrolling. A little scary. Yeah, if you're turning towards the middle, I got to make sure I can get past you in time. That can get dicey. Okay, I'm allowed to run, though, and it's fine. And again, we care about his vision cone. We care about his hearing. So if I run to here, I'm just outside of his hearing range. I've got lure. Is the important thing. Lure is such a good talent. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull you over here. I'm going to make you waste your turn just kind of running into that corner over there. We can see, so right, you're, okay, we still are predicting you. And the thing is, if you're standing here, you know, this box is 18 meters away. This guy is 14 meters away. If we get him like all the way to the corner, this guy won't see, but otherwise he's going to see stuff, right? And you might even see Sid, which is going to be a little bit scary as well. We're not beating this guy on initiative yet. And this guy is going up pretty soon. In fact, he's going to see Molly. Ooh, that's actually a problem. Shoot. Okay. The fact that he's going to be able to see Molly is kind of a big deal. And this guy walks up, he's going to share status. This actually got pretty rough. I need to lure you away. I need you to not come over. We need to find a way to, like, basically jump this guy. Okay. So I'm going to lure you away. Because I can't deal with you. You're just going to run to there. It'll be fine. I'm pretty tempted to burn a consumable here. I'm going to throw a shock mine at you. If you're stunned, you won't do anything. I think it's needed, right? I can wait and let Sid, you know, see if he gets like really lucky and gets a bunch of damage. I guess that's okay. Okay, I will yield and see if Sid can pull a miracle for me. I think it's really unlikely. But I will wait to see if Sid rolls well enough in initiative that we can kind of clear this guy out. We're pulling you away. You shouldn't be close enough for it to matter. You've got shots here. Now, it's worth noting this revolver, right? 3 people are in range to hear it. I really can't go for that one. But I can shoot the pistol. I've got buffs here, so I can go into Overwatch, which requires using a pistol or revolver. Twin Iron is shoot both guns at basically increased efficiency. And then Flush is a light armor reduction, and if they're in cover, you get to remove some of their cover bonus. So armor reduction is nice, right? He has 33 armor. I could drop that by 10% to about 30. And there's a chance we can do enough damage to kill him off. So no one else can hear it because it is a silenced pistol. Not too bad. Of course, he sees all of us and is angry. Not going to shoot you. We're going to shoot you. One mechanic here in the game is called focused fire. If you're using a single target weapon, like a pistol, or not shooting full auto on an assault rifle, things like that, you can actually ignore your recoil penalty. And so I can stay at 78. Now, it's not enough for a glancing hit. Pistols don't glance until they hit 80% accuracy. But I have a good shot at landing these, and it's going pretty well here. And that is wonderful. So I'm glad I lured this guy. He should be useless. Sid is fine where he is, and because our one witness has died, guess what? We're allowed to move around the map and do just fine. So I'm going to put Emil around here. Should be a decent enough spot to help the team when needed. Lure is down for a while, but we wanted the use out of it, so can't complain. Security escalation came in. Right? We hit sec level 1, and the security escalation right here, it woke 3 sleeping devices. We'll turn off some of the highlighting. You can see this camera, and that camera, I believe, all got turned on. And so now, if we trip them, right, it's more, space for the sec AI to send guard to the correct location, right? Once they can spot us, we can start getting collapsed upon. But you can see that so far we've been able to, really get the jump on our enemies. That's allowed us to do really well here. So for now, I want to make sure I get to some safety. I don't know for sure where everyone is going. Yes, I've, you know, pulled you around with lure and whatnot, but let's try to get to spots where we feel comfortable. And we can kind of pick up later. So I will leave you there for now. You're going to follow lure. Great. And then, yeah, you're going to start doing your, like, random hunting behavior. Don't know where you're going next turn. You are still standing around protecting the helicopter. Or, you know, Airbus, or I don't know what they're actually called in canon here. Whatever. Put the team all behind this crate. We should be pretty safe where we are. Emil can wait as well. And then you are heading that way, which is not ideal. You are very much in my way. Now, I don't know for sure where the guys are headed. So for now, I'm going to play kind of defensive and just try to wait. So reload pistol costs only 1. I think I'm happy to stand where I am right now. This should generally block line of sight reasonably well, and I shouldn't have to worry about too much here. I'm going to let Molly reload her Urban Assault. This kind of gun costs 2 AP. The pistol that Sid has costs 1. Put her up against the wall to try to break line of sight the best I can. Emil has not a whole lot going on. If I try to crouch through, yeah, that's going to be line of sight. You're going to be able to see me. If I kind of go this way, I can maybe get past it, but I'm not in a big rush here. I'm happy to sit here and basically spend the turn letting these guards move around and be a bit more reactive. And, you know, we got some reloading, which is useful as well. All right, now you can see the body timer is going to run out. Right, so it's been our 4 turns. So at the end of this turn, these timers will run out. They're going to generate 2 tally each, and they're also going to, usually, each call 1 guard over. So it might be at the end of this turn, these 2 guards are sent to go over that way, and I'm really, really safe. We'll see, though. No guarantees. You're doing nothing? Okay. You're over there and standing around, and you're still walking in that direction. Now, the nice thing is, you've kind of put yourself in a fairly dangerous location where I can kill you. You're going to spot me, but you're out of AP, so we're going to be okay. Thankfully, he's not close enough to share status with this guy. Might have to be a little bit afraid of him opening up and doing, you know, scary things, but for now, we're okay. So, again, I'm spotted here. All I can really do is shoot and, you know, react to what goes on. First shot, decent. Second shot, decent. And thankfully, you are just crushing it. So, good job, Sid. Made my life a little bit easier. Don't have lure back. But if I kind of put you in this corner here, there's a good chance you don't run over and see me. So I'm going to go ahead and just place that bet. Our team is, of course, back to being hidden. And there's a good chance that this guy gets, you know, pulled over, right? Let's hope you're not all talk. All right, well, we did a few turns here. That should be totally fine. Yeah, you're fine where you are. You're kind of back here in the corner, best you can do. So that's fine. Molly doesn't get to do a whole lot here. I can put her here. I think that's going to be reasonable. That should be well enough protected. Basically, if someone does jump in, that, you know, she can kind of react. Don't need a pre-duck. It is what it is. All right, let's go see what happens. We're going to get a bunch of tally, but not enough for an escalation. And we should have 2 guards redirected. Ah, in addition, the camera turned over and spotted the body. So that's extra sort of spice coming in here. Where there's another bit of tally, like, hey, not only did these heart monitors stop, but also we literally have confirmation of corpses. It makes even more tally coming in, and it's going to result in a redoubled effort from the SEC AI to send somebody over. Still, though, let's go ahead and wait and see what these guys are doing. Yep, you've been told by the SEC AI to go investigate. Hey, a heart monitor stopped over here. Go check it out. He didn't quite make it to see it on this turn. He'll see it soon. Artho, yep, got... Oh, he's actually on his random patrol, I think, still. Yeah, he's still on his random post-lore movement, so nothing special from him. Looks like we made our way out of it, then. There's no guards near us. We're pretty much fine. Molly can safely run over to the exit as well. We're feeling pretty good. So, first mission done. Managed to ambush 2 guards here. Managed to ambush this guy. Managed to ambush this guy, more or less. And it's looking pretty good right now. Now, we are going to escalate. This escalation could be reinforcements. They could spawn as, you know, close as this. It's going to make things a little bit tight, but we're hopefully okay. Oh, it is that, actually. This is not a guarantee, by the way, I don't think. I think it's a little bit random, but yep. So Oka has been grabbed. He's another upgraded enemy type, but the door is open. As promised, your exit. You're running over. You saw corpses. Now you're actually even more sort of angsty. So now he's running instead of walking. And, you know, he's just going to start patrolling around because he still knows nothing else, right? He's going to, you know, report into the sec AI, hey, yes, I found some corpses. There's nothing else going on. A T-Captain is spawned, so he can break out of stuns. He's got a revolver. Oop, don't do that. Yeah, there we go. Also has reasonably upgraded armor, pretty good health. But ultimately, right, he's going to be going to the spotted corpses. He's not running towards us because nobody was able to report as being here. And so, successful opening turn. You don't have to manually extract, I just do it. But as long as everyone stands on the square, you finish the mission. That is an option, you can turn that off if you want. And force manual extraction, whatever. Team makes it the elevator, off we go. Nice job, Remy. All right, in case anyone got hurt, their injury time and wounds would be healed. So injury time is your loader is out of action for, you know, 5, 7, 13 days, whatever, based on how much you got shot. Wounds are quasi-temporary debuffs. You have to actually go get them fixed, or they will get worse over time. But they are fixable, like debuffs, like, oh, you're slower, or your stress resistance is lower, things like that. So not a bad mission. The team gained some XP. You can see they're close to leveling up now as a result. This mission was worth no money. We came in at security level 2, which is pretty low, and so we gained 4 heat. We'll talk about that later. We got some consumables, right? A couple of dazzlers, got some money, got some things that we can sell or use, whatever. And so, welcome to the safe house. I think we have some dialogues to go through first. Everything's finally quiet. Hacksaw got out safely. Someone sold us out. Had to be a snitch. So we can do legwork. Legwork is one of the things you can do from the safe house layer. We can pick up the snitch's trail by sending Remy after her. She'll gain some XP for doing it. Or after them. We'll send Remy. She'll gain some XP. You basically always gain. Legwork gives you specifically 1/4 of your next level. And so next level costs 100 XP, and so 25 XP for her. We sent Emil. Emil hit level 2, but Remy's better at it, so we'll go for it. Confirm? Yes. What about our base? Alright, let's clean some rooms, prepare for some upgrades. Alrighty, so welcome to the safe house. Of course, Hacksaw, our Cyber Knight, is injured here, right? So injury time for 2 days makes sense there. There are, right now, 9 total optional rooms in the game. There's only room for 8. It is intentional that you cannot build literally everything. So the barracks is, of course, where your people exist. Upgrading the barracks simply gives you more slots. You can see we have 6 characters with a max slot of 8. If you have people who are, like, waiting to be interviewed, to be hired, you'll see them in the recruits counter here, but our team is 6 people, and we can fit 8 right now, so no rush upgrading the barracks here. The Command HQ is simply where you plan missions. The reason to upgrade the Command HQ is twofold. One, you can increase the number of simultaneous tasks in the safe house. This is constructing or upgrading rooms. It also increases your max power. Power is a resource that is required. Really, it's like a floor or a ceiling. You must have a certain amount of power in order for that room to be able to function. And so it's like a gate on upgrades, essentially, as is money. And you can see that I need more power to upgrade Command HQ, so I'd have to put in power first, and then in order to get 4 power, I'd have to upgrade the Command HQ, which requires 3. The cold storage is where all of your consumables are held, essentially. This is where you can investigate and mint file sets when we actually have them, which will be in episode 2, 3, 4 or something. We can talk about that, but right now all we have are files. As they'll have a number appended to them, these are actually ones that are worth holding onto because they are part of a file set. That's what the number is there for. So ultimately, going to hold on to them because we will have a better use for them down the line. We have nothing else but files, but if we had accounts, they would be here. If we had blueprints, they would be here, as well as the files themselves and the file sets interface. So you can see that we have 1/4 of the Dark Invoices file set. It requires these. We have 1/3 of the experimental personnel file set, 1/3 of patient dossiers. Basically, this is a way to make files worth more money by bundling them together. There's infrequently anything above just being worth more money and extra resources, essentially. But occasionally it's like, oh, this file set turns into a hacking program, or this file set turns into something else. Okay, so first things first, we should start digging out rooms in our safe house. Of course, our prices are increased by 50% due to difficulty settings. I like digging out the first 2 in the middle. It's made up. You can do whatever you want here, but that's what I like to do. Also worth doing is retraining all your characters. For the first like 10 days of having a character, respecking them is literally free. The point of leveling up is to unlock talent points. Leveling up means literally nothing else. The only point that getting a level gives you is a talent point. So it's split into two things. You can right now I can only have 5 individual talents. I can only spend 9 total points. You can see talents have a lot of upgrade nodes on them, and so I could spend 6 points learning look ahead and then spending 5 upgrades on it, and that means I would have 1 out of 5 talents and I'd have 6 out of 9 points spent. Broadly speaking, you should come close to your talent cap at most points in time. I think it's generally worthwhile. So I like look ahead, I like security scramble, I like pre-computed advantage, I like going and grabbing interference spike, and then I like going all the way up here for tactical surge. So look ahead is basically an AoE version of the Vanguard's anticipation. It also comes with a -2 initiative debuff, which is kind of nice. Security scramble is very similar to crash kit. Target a security device and turn it off for 2 turns. Great. Pre-computed advantage is buff somebody, including yourself, with a pretty generous range of +8 initiative for this turn if I need to get somebody ahead right now, but it also carries over into the next turn. So if, like, for example, I'm going to end my turn soon on my knight, and I need to go first next turn, my last AP can be spent pre-computing myself, ending my turn, and then I have a really good chance of going first in that next turn, which is really valuable. Interference spike is the exact opposite, but for guards. You can make sure that they go late so you can get the drop on them. Maybe their patrol path is going to be dangerous, maybe they're going to fight you, who knows what. You can make sure that you get to go first and kill them off. Also, if they're in Overwatch, it cancels Overwatch out of them, so that could be useful. Overwatch has a cooldown, but doesn't cost action points innately. If you bank AP with Overwatch, you get more shots. And Overwatch is really powerful in this game. If you land an Overwatch shot against most enemies, you lose the turn outright. Tactical Surge is just one of the strongest talents of the game. It is a big, wide AoE buff on a pretty long cooldown, but +2 AP for your whole team. Default team size is 4, is really, really, really good. So this basically prints 8 action points every 6 turns. It's quite strong. I like pushing toward this upgrade here for an extra move point. I like pushing toward getting both cooldown decreases to get it down to 4, and making the radius really, really large. Ultimately, I'm going to start here by grabbing the cooldown on Tactical Surge to get it down to 5. At level 3, I'm going to grab these 2 points. At level 4, I'm going to grab this. And then we're going to move on from there. Great. Let's go ahead and respec our face as well. So class training, respec. Okay, wonderful. Early game, nothing on the left-hand side is very useful. They pretty much all require you to have safe house rooms completed to use them. And so none of the starting safe house rooms can use this stuff, so I'm not going to bother. We'll talk about that later. On the right-hand side, you don't have access to hype limit breaks at the very start of the game because no one has enough hype. So this also does nothing very, very early on. Off to the right, handpicked is nice. When you get new recruits, they are at a higher level. That said, I'm not in an immediate rush to get new recruits, so I'm going to wait on that one, which really leaves going down the middle for Co-Conspire. This allows you to force on missions from certain contacts. Instead of having like a default tech tree, like many games in this genre have, your gear upgrades come in, well, not entirely, largely through your contact web and the people that you know. You actually run jobs for them. They become more powerful, they gain new services, and that allows you to unlock new weapons, new armor, new hacking programs, new cybernetics, things like that, new implants, all that kind of stuff. And so saying, hey, you, I like your services, I want your services to get better, Co-Conspire allows you to force them into your mission pool more often. I find it very useful. You can upgrade it to give them what is influence, which is functionally experience for contacts, and you can get this talent up more often as well by giving it charges and cooldown. I think it's quite nice. Going over here for Dealmaker is quite nice as well. This basically says, hey, I'm going to be, at a baseline. All this does is say, hey, my jobs are worth 10% more money, which is not bad at all for the early game. But you can come in and say, hey, for my street level contacts, I want you to gain more influence for the mission, and maybe for your secondary objectives, they'll be a little bit more powerful as well. Not that important early on, although I'm really tempted to go all the way up here and gain the extra job payments. I think I will. I'll go for getting a lot of money early on. And then I will spend 1 point here. And at level 2, because you get +2, I'll go for Puppet Master, which allows those contacts, when they functionally level up, it's called an influence limit break. It makes them a lot more powerful because you can just take every upgrade instead of only picking one. It's really, really, really nice. So I'm a very big fan in the early game of taking this middle tree. And because your primary mission giver in the early game for Syndicate Debts is a street-level contact, Octane, who works for the D Cartel Criminal Syndicate. The top row here is really nice. If you have a megacorp, opening, which Null Deal is, you can come down here and you can get benefits for megacorp or milsec contacts. But yeah, it's not me right now. Cool. What was up there? Let's keep going through the training. So Emil, I do like Lure, I do like Silence, I do like Jam Kit. I'm probably going to take Anticipation. I think that's totally fine. And the question now basically is, what else do I want to learn? I really like Refract. I think it's very, very good. I can spend these 3 points to unlock it. It's reasonable. Stand Up Short is fine. It's kind of whatever. But I can get it along the way if I don't want to go for these attribute points instead. To me, the best things in Vanguard are Lure, are Crash Kit, Glasswalker, and Refract. Not really in order. I think they're all just really, really good, and so ideally my build's going to come out this way, and going to come out this way. Now, one thing that I want to kind of bring up, since I last played, this is about 4 months since my last Let's Play ended, the devs have added a lot of new enemy types, including drones. And so I'm really tempted to go pretty early for counter static here, which is nice because near Refract, and Refract is amazing. So I'm tempted to, instead of go for the left-hand side of Glasswalker K Protocol, I'm going to go to the right-hand side for Refract and Counterstatic and see how well that goes, because it'll be new for me, and that'll be kind of exciting. So the question I have is, do I want to start pathing this way right now? Which means at level 2 I can learn Refract, at level 3 I can learn Counterstatic, or 4, I forget exactly. Or I can invest heavily into Lure, and Lure is really, really good. Yeah, I think I'm going to start with getting some more investment into Lure first. And what's funny is I have almost... This actually might be the identical layout that the game actually started me on. And all I did is respec and then learn the exact same talents again. Range versus... Oh, no. Radius is better, right? So, Lure range lets me put it farther away, which means I can, like, more reliably turn someone around. But doubling the radius is just really, really nice. And, yeah, just really appreciative. Or I'm appreciative of that one. I can increase the range or radius more, or I can start moving towards +1 charge. I think I do want to move towards +1 charge, so I'm going to go and grab both of these. You could argue that actually AoE is less important than +1 charge. In fact, I will. I will respec and do it over again. So I'm going to start like this. I think it's a really solid opening Vanguard talent set. 2 charges of Lure is just really, really powerful. I'll eventually move into Crash Kit more. Only a couple, like maybe +1 charge, maybe +1 charge on a cooldown. Probably stop there because I really want to get points in Lure, I want to get points in Refract, and I want to get Counterstatic. So, points are pretty tight early on. If you have more spare, again, Glasswalker's great. That's good enough. Molly the War Machine is a cyber weapons specialist, so there's some really cool stuff here. What to say? The primary character class is basically all about Clawmaster and Redline. This is when you get a kill with a cybernetic claw, you get a bunch of free action points, and you can get more and more and more stuff. Clawmaster lets your claws be more and more powerful. The big one here is reducing the AP cost by 1. That is a huge deal. That is really, really big, and that is what this class is built around. So before anything else, I will have no other talents learned. What I care about is getting +2 charges and 0 action point cost on claw attacks. I will eventually branch out for Stun Strike. I will branch out for Redline. These are very, very good, but I think War Machine is just built by Clawmaster being good, and that's where I'm going to start here. Great. Not much else to say. We'll talk about more later when that happens. We've got our Gunslinger. One thing I could do for power level reasons is respec my Gunslinger and make him functionally a sniper for a long time. I think Sniper is the overall single strongest combat class in the game, and multi-classing is free. You can only ever be in 2 classes. Your primary class cannot change. So because he's a starting Gunslinger, he can never become a soldier sniper duo class. But he can become a Gunslinger sniper or a Gunslinger soldier. Again, if I'm purely power gaming, I make him a sniper right now, and I learn the really, really strong buff talents in sniper. I'm tempted to do it. It makes the game a lot easier, and the early game is arguably the hardest part of the game. I think for now, I'll wait and let him sit in Gunslinger for a while, but I'm kind of tempted. That said, I will long-term go into Gunslinger Sniper. The primary reason why is there's just a lot of, honestly, just strong synergy. And getting a bunch of, really, really solid single-target damage, and then using your Gunslinger tools to, be in a good spot here. But for now, what am I going for? So I'm just going for like the heavy pistol combo stuff. I'm going to go and grab Flush and Link Watch and then rush for Gun Kata. An alternative is to go for Fanning and Ricochet and Trigger Vector and rely on a secondary revolver, but I'm going to go for the stealth Gun Kata style and see how well it goes. Like, I don't think it's quite as strong as just seriously just becoming a sniper, but we'll play it out this way. Hold up is okay, throwing bullet is okay. I'm pretty tempted to run through the right-hand side tree here. But I do really want Gun Kata, so let me see. So 1, 2, 3. I could learn Gun Kata right now and then come back for the rest, because I don't think I want to learn all these things. I think I'll actually run out of talent points, so run all the way up here. And this gives me, yeah, good firing angle and some crit. I think this is fine. It means I don't have Flush, but that's fine. I think it's reasonable. I'm actually pretty okay with this. Yeah, we're just going to use Gun Kata a fair bit, and it should be decent. All right, well, to do that successfully, I'm going to have to move a little bit of gear around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take your pistol off, and I'm going to give it to you, so that you have the silenced pistol here. And then I'll give you your secondary, which will just be, for now, it'll be a revolver, and whatever, it's fine. We'll figure it all out later. Final respec is going to be my hacker. Again, free respec here. I like getting 1 point in packet loss. Packet loss is kind of nice. It is much like Crash Kit and Security Scramble, just turn something off. Very reasonable here. The left-hand side tree has a bunch of anti-drone stuff, so if the drone attacks me, I can debuff it. If we kill a drone, debuff people in the area, I can debuff a drone, jamming its sense kit, and making it more easy to kill. Although I'm probably going to path through the middle here to get there. 1 point in hard shell. A little bit of deck shield is really useful. Your cyberdeck taking damage is it's not quite permanent, but it costs time and money to repair, and so getting any deck shield lets you save money and safe house time, essentially. But the big deal is overclock. Overclock is really, really, really what matters. It is great. It is so very strong. Yeah, it's kind of the best. The consideration I have in my head right now is, do I want to invest heavily into overclock, or do I want to make the move to start learning null op? To me, early game hacker is all about overclock and null op. I'm not sure if I'm going to need the extra duration node in overclock just yet, but I could very easily spend the +4 and get a bunch of AP. I think for now I'm going to do that. I'm just going to start with big overclock. So I'll put a shield on, I'll get a bunch of Matrix AP and Matrix IO, and we'll start from there, and then we'll move on towards null op. And if I need the plus duration, I can take that at a later point in time. All right, that is my class training done. That is my rooms being built. So I'm going to go ahead and basically try to play time forward until it's a good stopping point, usually going to be on getting a mission offered. So now that everything is ready to go, right, we are using 2 out of 2 safe house tasks, we've done all of our class training, we can start playing time forward. Oh, actually, for funsies, we can run through some convos as well. So we can just chat with some people. Great. Yeah, takes time to recover. All right, we can play time forward. Should you be back on your feet? Well, I am. And again, feel free to pause and read the convo if you want. They dropped a response team, huh? Right on the roof. Anything from Octane? We can call Octane, fair enough. We did a heist to cut our teeth. Could run forward op. She wants her money. Makes sense. All right, go back to bed. Okay, now one thing I forgot to do, I technically slightly lost out on some power here, is Coco Spire is already ready to go and I haven't run it yet. So I am going to filter out people who are enemies of me because I don't care about them. If they're dead, if they're missing, if they're enemies, I don't want to see them. I want to go talk to my contacts. So Bimmer is the contact you get from your face. He sells combat drugs. Dr. Ash always comes with and offers medical treatment. Dusty is a gun runner who comes from knowing the hacker that I chose and sells street guns, so we can get stuff from him. I guess right now we can't co-conspire because... Oh no, we can for some. Just some of them are busy and don't have any missions they want to run, but I can run for him. I can run for Mongrel. I can run for Octane. What I want to run for is Potato. Potato and Vertigo. So Vertigo, by being a street wetware splicer, can unlock new new implants that we can go for. But Potato I'm going to hire because he should offer reasonably useful missions, and the real only way to get better cyberdecks and better programs, for the most part, is through contacts. And so the sooner we can start getting Potato to run missions for us, the better it's going to be. And so we're going to co-conspire and quickly generate a mission. Needs me to play Bodyguard. So mission types are very much based on contact type. So as a net wraith, you can only offer basically Bodyguard and hacking style missions. And you can't get hacking missions super early on in the game, and so you can only ever generate bodyguards. Bodyguard missions are relatively easy and very much worthwhile. Now, the sooner we finish the mission, the sooner he can be freed up to generate a mission on his own volition. So we don't want to leave it on red for too long, but for now it's fine. Let's wait till Remy gets back, things like that. We'll leave this here. Basically, just wanted to get the co-conspire cooldown started. Figured out who made the call, cleanly and quietly. Ultratech is none the wiser. We did not gain any heat, but yet we can go lean on the biotech person. So, all right, Remy can try again. Thankfully, it will only take about 6 days. You get it eventually no matter what, so let's go. Remy is back on legwork for 6 days. Cool. Coin flip each time, but she'll get there eventually. Got it first try. Great. Coin flip succeeded. The knight you tried to have killed? It's me. And we have dirt on you. So we have player options here. This hasn't done a ton in the game, but it's cool when it exists. These actually have mechanical, very light, but they actually have mechanical ramifications here. Basically, how you handle this conversation impacts how she feels about you, and thus it lightly changes further interactions. Not like on a dialogue replacement level, but there's mechanical like feeling mechanics, right? So hey, look, just be better about being on the sly, okay? Let's give you some tips. And so as a result, we get a bunch of extra trust. Trust is a almost direct multiplier in mission payments, so kind of nice, and Osa's favors. So if we need to cash in favors for from a biotech researcher, that can sometimes matter. All right, so our team is basically ready to play. We can talk with Octane in a day and a half. We got a bodyguard job to do. We also got forward op to plan. I say let's go run the bodyguard job now. Let's get this kind of rolling. Let's get ourselves into a good spot. So let's go play bodyguard. The Harvard lease. Okay. It's going to be a fairly straightforward mission here. This is one where there's not a lot of optional objectives here. If we complete it quickly, we get more influence because he's already at 50. Because he is a street level contact, the base influence here is 20%. Normally it would be 10%. So he's going to go to 70 on his own. But his secondary objective, as it turns out, it's actually a pretty good one. Plus 30 influence. So we're going to get him all the way to 100% influence right away at the first mission. That's pretty lucky. That is pretty fortunate overall. But yes, we're going to run a bodyguard job for Potato. We could call in a favor with Dusty Diamond, the gun runner. Because he's a gun runner for a gang. He has command over gang soldiers. If we wanted to buy Violent Diversion as pre-mission leverage, we could cash in one of our 2 favors. But we're not going to do that. I don't need this. I think it'll be fine. This map is relatively straightforward to play through. So our Knight's going to go, our Vanguard's going to go, and then I'm going to leave my Hacker behind, even though hackers really do want XP, and it's valuable to level them up. Being that we're not going to be doing any hacking in this mission, going to be running a more combat-focused squad for the first mission, or yeah, for the first sort of procedure-generated mission for this one. So this is going to be the team for episode 2. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.